Exactly.
So I guess nutrition then, what do you carry for nutrition on a race like this? And do you have any other clever tricks for that?
Yeah. So, for these races, if it's under like 4-ish hours, I just run off goos and chews, basically. I don't use any solid food. So I'll generally start with, since on Sunday there was a chance of rain, it was going to be a little iffy. I left the chews in the wrappers and just clipped the top of them so I could slide them out. But generally I'll empty the chews just directly into my pocket and just pull them out piece by piece, which I think is easier. But if it's going to be rainy, you don't want to do that because then they kind of melt and they all just like stick together.
Sticky mess out there.
Yeah. So I do that. And then I always carry, I put 2 gels in my pocket, I think, as well.
Okay.
And then the rest of the goos were taped to the lids of my bottles.
How does that work?
So I pre-rip them a little bit. Okay. So I rip them just a teeny bit, just enough. They're not leaking, right? Just enough so they pull off really easy. So I tape them to the lids of the bottles. And then when you grab the bottle, you can still put it in your cage and you don't have to eat the goo right away. You can eat it whenever you want. But generally I like to eat it really like right away because having it sitting there flopping it bugs me.
Yeah.
So it's good. So then it forces you to eat it, right? Because you see it and you're like, oh, I should eat.
Yeah.
So you eat it. And also I think you have all these fancy bikes and all these parts, you're trying to save weight. So it's like, why carry around like 5 or 6 goos that weigh like 50 grams a piece? And then it's also a reminder to eat, I think, like I just said, like you see it and you're like, oh, I'm going to eat it. So
that's smart. So do you tape them to the bottle or do you like thread the cap on and squeeze them that way?
I use electrical tape and I tape them to the lid, right around the top.
Nice.
I'll do a few tight wraps and that way the goo just rips straight off. You can rip it off from the cage. You can pull the bottle out and rip it off, whatever works for you. But I've had problems. I used to screw them into the lid until I had a lid blow off and I was done doing that. So.
Then you lose the drink and the goo. Yeah.
Then you lose the drink and the goo and then you have a mess and yeah. And then, in the bottles, I ran goo hydration mix in every other bottle.
Okay.
And water in the others. So.
Gotcha. So you kind of alternate. You do like bottle of mix, bottle of water?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. And you had 2 bottle cages on this bike?
No.
Just 1?
It fits 2, but I was just running 1. So
nice.
We had it sorted out with, just to save weight. And we figured out that we weren't really going to need to ever really carry 2 bottles at a time, just the way the water and feed stations were spaced, that it worked out just fine to run 1. So maybe if it was 100 degrees, maybe I would have carried 2.
Yeah.
But given that it was cool and we're like, oh, we'll just send it with 1 and hopefully it'll be fine. And it worked out just great.
A bottle's a lot of weight. That makes sense.
They do. They weigh a lot. So I think if like people don't realize that a bottle weighs probably about 1 pound if it's full. Yeah. So, I mean, that makes a big difference when you're climbing 8,000 feet. So I think if you can minimize the amount of bottles and goos and all that stuff, it adds up, So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As long as you make sure that you get it. You don't want to start off the race with 1 bottle and 2 goos and be like, all right, I'm going to make it 5 hours. You got to have a plan. But
yeah. What was that plan for you? Like, how did you make sure that you brought or took in food regularly or enough?
So in the past, I've set a timer on my dash, for every 20 minutes. And that kind of ingrained the habit. And now it's just become habit. Surely you can't do it every 20 minutes exactly, depending on terrain, right? But if your timer goes off and you're in somewhere where you can't drink, like, all right, I'll drink next time I get an opportunity, or I'll smash down a goo real quick or whatever. And that really helped me. Because I didn't used to be that good at eating when racing. And I think having that reminder to saying like, eat was really helpful. So,
yeah. That's something that I see like with you or just, riding with any of the top level athletes like this. I tend to see that you guys are really, really good at eating. That's like something that we misunderstand is you're just really good at remembering when to eat, finding moments to eat, eating efficiently, just like getting it done quickly. And that's something that us average Joes are actually not very good at.
It takes a lot of time, and even training, like you have to train your body to be able to like process that amount of carbohydrate. So like on a long, like 4 or 5 hour day, you're just like constantly like bringing in the calories and like, and you're just getting used to eating on the bike. And I mean, sure, training, generally I eat more solid food, but you're still eating, right? Nonetheless. And you're teaching yourself how to reach back there, whether it's on single track, whatever. You just got to get comfortable, smashing food down. And yeah. And sometimes with the chews, I forgot to mention, I generally just pop my mouth and let them kind of dissolve. I don't really end up chewing and swallowing them. So
that's clever.
I'll take like one bite and then you just cheek them or something and
right.
kind of let them do their thing. So,
that's clever.
I'm sure my dentist hates it, but
I'm sure, right?